getting set up. I plan on catching up on my cotton cuts. I have all the blocks from month 1 and month 3 done, but I only did one set of the blocks for month 2. So that is what I'll be working on. I'm excited because it's Halloween on Friday, and this quilt is Halloween fabric. Oh, actually, I lied. For this one, there are the month 1 and month 3 have 2 different blocks, so 2 and 2. This one actually has a set of 4. So I have only done the one. I'm gonna try to batch sew them. Hopefully, I get them all done. I'm trying to be consistent so that way when month 10 comes here, I'm not trying to like catch up. Hi, Cynthia. How are you? Hi, Arnetta. Yes, it's so cold in New York too. Today was like kind of rainy and dreary. Fall is really, it's really getting here. How's everything been? I went to visit family this weekend, which was really nice, and had a girls' night out with one of my best friends and my sister, and we saw another friend in a play, so it was really nice. Hi, Mary Lou, how are you doing? Alright, I'm just trying to lay out all the pieces here so that way I make sure I'm grabbing the correct ones. Next Friday is the big reveal for the other cotton cuts quilt that I'm working on, the Phoenix one that is all the batiks. And I still feel like I mess up on the letters for the fabric, so I just always double check. This one I feel like I haven't messed up quite as much because the prints are so different, but I always switch 2 of them on the batiks. Oh, Marilyn, I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah, I haven't done much sewing. We had the marathon on Saturday, which was really nice. A whole bunch of us did different like mystery, spooky patterns, so that was fun. And I think last week I said our next one's in December, but there's actually one in November. I didn't realize. And it's supposed to be from Kiteco Sewing Patterns. So I have to find out which pattern we're sewing up. I need to get working on that. I feel like the last couple weekends have been so busy for me. So I'm looking forward to this weekend where I don't have any set plans. School's going really well. Yeah, thank you. It's been a good year so far. It's been a busy year too though, because I also like not only am I like my day job as a teacher, but I am taking a class in New York. They have different certifications. So like you have to have your master's degree eventually to teach, but then they have like a school building leader, which is like for principal, and then school district leader, which is like for central offices and superintendents. So I'm taking a class to get my school district leader certificate. So that has been really busy. I haven't taken a class in a few years. So, but I'll be done with that the end of December. So I'm happy that I'll have that done. And hopefully that's the last school, or at least for a while. There's quite a few people that I work with that are going for their PhDs, and I don't know. I think it would be cool to have that, but I just don't think I have the brain capacity to go to school for another 4 years or however long, 3 years, depending on your program. All right, so I actually just laid out, all the steps are here. So when I film that first one, I always do like a full length tutorial. So on Tuesday nights when I sew it, I just kind of sew it up in chat. So I have laid them out, the first steps, because I'm just gonna chain stitch them all together. Oh, thanks, Mary Lou. Yeah, I'm actually really enjoying the class. It's funny, I love school in the sense I love going to the classes and learning. I just hate doing the work to show that I learned. And I mean, that sounds so terrible, being a teacher. I left an 80-10 needle in this, and when I was sewing batiks and some other things, and this fabric is a bit thinner. I might have to switch it to a 70. I mean, I left the 80-12. I might have to switch it to a 70-10. We'll see. Have you guys been working on any projects? I've still been doing the Christmas cross stitch. I've been working on that a lot. I've been enjoying it because at least with the cross stitch, I can just kind of like sit on the couch. I can watch TV, or sometimes I multitask and like read a book at the same time. In my sewing room, like I don't have a TV or anything, but if I want, sometimes I'll use my iPad or the computer to watch YouTube while I'm sewing. I need to make myself a new like purse to carry. The one that I've been using, the cork is coming apart, and I've been carrying it around with it like coming apart for like 3 weeks. So maybe I'll put that on my to-do list for the weekend, or that will be my live on next Tuesday. Oh, cute. Cynthia, what pattern did you use for that? When my nieces were younger, like 5 or 6, I made them purses. I used the dog walking bag from I think it's Dog Under My Desk Patterns. Is that what it is? Am I confused? Or Sewing Ideas? I don't know. It was a dog walking bag, basically, and I just left off the little circle part where like the doggy bags would come out, and it worked out really well. My nieces have quite a few of my bags, or like if they're ones that I don't feel like comfortable selling at one of the markets or online or whatnot, sometimes I'll give it to my nieces. It's good to get a start on the Christmas gifts. I know I'm one of those people, I always wait till last minute. And I'm like, oh, this would be so cool, and then I run out of time. I'm so excited for Halloween and the fact that it falls on a Friday. In New York City, they have a Halloween parade down in the Village, and I have never gone, but it's super popular, so we're debating about maybe going to actually see it this year. I just turned down this iron a little bit. I really wanted, oh, I had to interface something the other day, and I turned it up, and this little iron gets super hot, even for having no steam in it. I just like, not burnt my hand, but it was warm. Oh, that's cool. Does it have written instructions? My personal preference for patterns is that there's written instructions, and I like when there's a video, so if I get stuck. Oh, that's nice, Arnetta. I love like winter hats, like beanies and stuff. That's like one of the good things about cold weather. I actually enjoy wearing them. Oh, see, that's good, Cynthia. I like, it's really hard for me. Like, I like having a YouTube video to refer to, but I like having timestamps so I can jump ahead to the part that I need. And then if I'm making a pattern that I've made before, I'll like watch the video or watch YouTube videos for instructions and like, background noise or whatever. But it's really, really hard sometimes for me to watch videos where you can only get the instructions from the video, and then if the person doesn't like goes off on side tangents or whatnot, I have a really hard time focusing with them. Oh my gosh, Mary Lou, you are so funny. You sound just like my mom. And I made the car trash cans before, and I actually gave them to my sister because with the 3 kids, it's the same thing. And actually, when my sister just got the new car, or new to her car, a few months ago, my mom is like, I'm expecting it every week. All right, so now I'm just sewing these 2 half square triangles together. I just gotta make sure, because I don't clip them, that I'm making sure that I'm sewing the correct side. Aw, thank you so much, Donna. I'm so glad that you're able to catch me. Yeah, I try to go live on Tuesday nights. Sometimes if Tuesdays don't work, I'll go on like Wednesday or whatnot. So yeah, thanks for being here. I'm really enjoying the quilting lately. I feel like I haven't really made that many bags or been inspired to make so many right now. Oh, Cynthia, me too. That's why I like when there is an option for a video. I have improved a ton with being able to understand a pattern. But sometimes I also have trouble. I also have trouble. My personal preference in patterns is when there's like real life pictures, not diagrams, because sometimes with the diagrams, my brain has a lot of trouble understanding them as well. Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, Tuesday nights kind of, they work out usually pretty well for me because it breaks up my week Monday is like my busiest night, and I'm gonna be doing some work after school, like still through New York State Public Schools, but mentoring paraprofessionals who are gonna be getting their master degree to become teachers. So I'll be busy some of the other nights. So I always say this, I should be more consistent with Tuesdays, unless something randomly pops up. Yeah, I can totally understand the catching up. That's how I am sometimes with the cotton cuts, which I've trying to be more consistent with it, so I don't get to the end and be like, oh my gosh, I have all these months that I need to finish. Yeah, I really been enjoying, um, just like I love piecing. I feel like yes, I need to pay attention to like which way all the pattern pieces are um, going and such, but I feel like there's not, or I don't put as much pressure on myself as I do with bag making. Like if my points don't line up, I don't really stress about it. Quilts are just kind of for me. Yeah, same, Ornetta. You know what's funny? I never thought I was a visual learner until I started teaching. I mean, not teaching, until I started sewing. I have a pretty good, like, recall for things that I hear. But with sewing, I'm such a visual learner. I did Brazilian Jiu Jitsu for a while, and it was the same thing. That was like, I used to have to be like kind of walked through the different moves before they clicked in my brain. Yeah, I think it's so fascinating the different ways that people learn. Um, I in As a special education teacher, I try to like provide so many different ways for the kids, and even for myself, I think that's with like why when I actually write my sewing patterns, like sometimes they can be really wordy, but I'd rather put like too many words in and be very descriptive and include the pictures and a video than put not enough and then people not understand. I'm just switching my power cord real quick. I don't know if you see it moving or me moving. I use my phones to stream, and I left one of my iPhone cables at my parents'. I don't know why, I thought it was like my mom's old cable, but it was mine. And you would think that I would have a ton here in the house, and I definitely don't. So it's on I have to get some more. And I was like, I have a ton of cables for USB-C, but I still have the iPhone 14, which has like the old iPhone, like the proprietary cable. And trying to find one last night was such a pain. I had to steal it from the car. I love these prints so much. They're by Art Gallery Fabrics. It's called Ghostly and Haunted. But it's not, to me, it's like, okay, this one's kind of like traditional Halloween, but I just love that it has the pink. And then some of the prints are just like really nice fall prints. So I love that it's Halloween, but not like super Halloween. So next Friday for the big reveal for the Flyway puzzle mystery quilt from Cotton Cuts, they usually announce the theme of the next one, and then in the coming weeks they'll start showing the different fabric options, and I can't wait to see what they pick. Yeah, thanks, Cynthia. I really like them. I've been seeing in the different quilting groups that I'm in, the Tula's like gray line or gray works, whatever she calls her newest one that is like the grays, just released, and the fabrics are so gorgeous. I've been loving seeing people starting to get them in and what they're making with them. So these quilts, the Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mystery Quilts, run on a 10-month schedule. So month 4 releases this Friday. They come out, the spring comes out the first Friday of every month, and the fall comes out the last Friday of every month. So this one won't finish up until April. So it won't be done for Halloween, but that's okay. I have like a Halloween puff quilt pillow that I made, and I keep it on my couch all year long. It just kind of blends in because it's colorful. I was just checking these. I wonder if I thought I followed the pressing instructions, but both of my seams are pressed the same way. So I don't know if that was a me error or, but I think yeah, I have the fabrics right. I'm just gonna try to match up the center seam as best I can. When I first started quilting, I clipped everything, even the like smaller pieces. But now, just to like save myself time, I only clip when I have to actually match up or attempt to match up seams. Oh no, did I do this one wrong? Alright, this one I gotta pick apart. This, remember when I was talking about like, oh, I need to make sure that I turn it the correct way? Well, I flipped this one around. But thankfully it wasn't so far into the block that I can just easily pick it apart. So I'm really excited. I've been looking at like just different quilting or any type of sewing shows and stuff, and the same people that put on, I think it's Quilt Week, the same one or whatever it's called that they do in Kentucky, the big one in Kentucky. This year in New England, they are doing an event in April in Hartford, and it's so close to like where I grew up. I'm really excited because a lot of them there's not really any, there's like local shows in New England, but not really any large events. So I'm really excited to hopefully be able to check that out. That's funny, Cynthia. When I first started going live, I did make more mistakes. Um, Now I've gotten mostly a little bit better with it. I don't want to jinx myself. Hopefully that was the only mistake I'll really make. But I think that's also why I do the quilting, or I've done bags that I've made before, or things that it's not really like high pressure if I make a mistake on them. Because sometimes it's really hard to focus on the instructions and the chat and think and talk at the same time. Yeah, it was actually one of the reasons why I waited to go live for so long, because I was really, really nervous about that. But now I've been going live about once a week, or aiming for once a week for about, I think, a year now. So I've gotten much more comfortable with it. And honestly, like, I don't have a humongous following. So obviously I don't get quite as many comments as, like, some other people, but I really haven't gotten any mean comments at all that I can remember. People have been super nice. Oh, thanks, Cynthia. I try. I do think being a teacher in my day job helps, because I'm so used to being like, instructing in front of kids, and but it's funny because I actually think I'm more comfortable teaching kids than adults. I start to get a little bit more self-conscious with adults. Also, I've worked with middle school for so long, and they have like no filter, that I've just also really learned to be able to laugh at things and just kind of roll with the punches. And I sometimes think it's okay or good even if I make a mistake on here, because I know I have learned so much from other YouTube videos where people have kept a mistake in and then shown how to fix it. So I always tell myself that too. I'm like, all right, well, if I make a mistake, hopefully it will help somebody or make people feel not so bad, because it sometimes, like on a video, I try to edit out all the mistakes, because I never want like an instructional video to mess somebody up. But sometimes I'll like talk about what I did or whatnot. I don't know. Hopefully people find it helpful. Because I think we can be our own worst critics as well. So it's nice to see that other people make mistakes. It's also nice to get feedback. Like I said, I've had a lot of really, really nice interactions and helpful advice from the sewing groups that I'm a part of, and I'm so grateful for it. I learned so much from everyone. So this print is directional. A few of these are directional, but what I do is, because this is a mystery quilt, at the end, I don't know which way the blocks are going to be facing. So I try to rotate and put my directional blocks in a variety of different ways, so that way once the quilt comes together, it doesn't look funny because everything's up and one's down, or there's enough variety that it looks intentional. That is the one thing about the puzzle mystery quilts, is you don't know what the end result of the quilt will look like, so you have to be comfortable with that, which is why I just pick colorways that I love. Because for me, it's not so much, at least with these, it's not so much the overall design of the quilt that I love, it's the fabrics that I use in it. Making sure I turn these so I'm actually pressing them the correct direction. The other thing too is a lot of quilters use the scant 1/4 inch. I am atrocious at keeping my scant 1/4 inch consistent. So I just use a full 1/4 inch. And with these quilts, at least, as long as you're consistent, that's not a problem. Yeah, so each month, they call them clues since it's a mystery. Each month you get a clue, and it will tell you, like, I'm doing a large, so it's generally been about 4 blocks for each month. The small, I think it's also been like 4, just smaller sizes. And so in month 10, the instructions will be like 4 pages long. And I don't know if you can see on here, but there's like a little 2. So that means month 2. And so for different months, it will be like 3A and 3B. So your final instructions will say like, so block, 1 block from month 2 to the right of 3A, and it gives you like directions to put them together by number. I actually, the reveal, if you're curious about it, I have full month tutorials from like previous ones I've done, but on next Friday the 7th, Cotton Cuts does a live where all the ambassadors are on and we show our finished quilts. So after that, I'm going to have my month 10 tutorial, and I walk people through the instructions. So if you're curious, you could kind of like watch it for a few minutes, and when it posts, and you'll be able to see what the instructions look like. And they're written, like, all the instructions are written with like letters. It will say like fabric A, fabric B, fabric C, because there's anywhere from like 10 to 12 different fabric lines. So you get to pick your fabric line. So mine was called Davy Jones Locker, and it's the Ghostly and Haunted line from Art Gallery. And so there's different ones, and so everybody will refer to their own specific fabrics depending on the colors that they chose. Yeah, exactly. And I don't have like a 1/8 line. I mean, maybe I could get a different foot or whatever. It's just so much more easier on my machine just to keep the full 1/4 inch. Where it does make a difference is like now, for example, I have to put this piece A to the right. And so my piece A is like literally an eighth of an inch larger. So instead of trimming it down, what I do is I'll just kind of center it. And if there's any overhang, I basically just hide it in the next seam allowance. I don't worry about trimming it down or anything. And so far that's been working for me. I've never had a problem where my clues from one month to another don't match up. I love this print too. This one, since it's so big, it actually shows it. It has like a cute like house, and it reminds me where I grew up in Connecticut is a really old town. It became a town in 1699, so it's like over 300 years old. And it just reminds me a lot of the old homes, like very New England. Oh, see, 3/8 is actually my favorite to sew bags with. Um, the very first line on my plate here is a 3/8 line. The 1/4 inch doesn't actually have its own line. The 1/4 inch actually lines up with the right hand side of my feed dogs. Um, I guess you could probably put, like, they sell that washi tape, some of the different businesses have, or you could, measure it yourself maybe and put a piece of your own tape to help keep track. I just love 3/8 because when I make bags, I find, especially ones with gussets, it's so easy for them to slip a little bit that the 3/8 gives me that little bit of wiggle room to try to catch everything. When it is just a 1/4 inch, I find that I have a really difficult time catching all the fabric that I need to. I do know that with some bag patterns, you'd have to probably ask, but it's kind of the same thing with a quilt that you can change. If you change the seam allowance, as long as you're consistent, the pieces may match up. Because I've definitely done that before for some bags that had a 1/4 inch. I just sewed a larger one, and then obviously the overall result of the bag is a little bit smaller, but it was much easier. Part of it too is because this is an older singer. It's from, I think it's like 1981 or 82, something like that. And I can't adjust the presser foot pressure. And it actually has a lot of pressure. So sometimes that's really good if I have a lot of layers, but then sometimes it causes things to shift. So that little bit of extra wiggle room in the seam allowance helps with that too. The seam allowance that I don't prefer is a 1/2 inch, and just because I feel like that's too big, at least for me, and then I feel like you waste material with it. But I still make bags with a 1/2 inch and do it according And then what I also find interesting is just in my patterns, I always convert it to the metric system as well. And I have a couple pattern testers in different locations around the world, and I'm always like, can you please double check that my measurements are okay and that makes sense to you? It's so funny because when I was like, okay, I'm gonna teach myself to sew, I don't know why I didn't think about the fact of how much math was actually involved. Sorry, I'm just double checking that I clipped these correctly. Yeah, it was a really big surprise to me. I don't know why I just thought I was gonna be like, all right, I'm just gonna cut these out and it's gonna be good. I had taken like architectural drafting and computer drafting, and my dad did a lot of carpentry, like woodworking projects in the garage growing up, and I was really grateful for all that stuff because I'm like, oh wow, I have not used a ruler like that in such a long time. Yeah, so washi tape is sticky, but not sticky where like a duct tape or even scotch or what's it called, or masking tape. Washi tape is, I don't have any in the craft room right now. You see it a lot in Michael's in the scrapbooking section. So it actually peels up fairly, like pretty easy. It's removable. I mean, knock on wood, I've never had a problem with it really leaving a sticky residue behind. And some of the shops, I know Soulful Therapy is one, and I think it Seems So Awesome. They sell like printed washi tape with the different measurements, like sewing measurements already on it that you could put right on your machine. Yeah, I've never had a problem with it leaving residue. You could ask in the group. Both of them have Facebook groups, and you could ask about their product in particular. But because it's used for scrapbooking and being put on paper to be able to lift it up, it's not as sticky as other tapes and adhesives. Trying to think of any other shops. You could probably post in like the group So Whatever too and ask. I'm sure there's other shops that might have it as well. Or like I said, you could just buy some at Michael's and measure with your own ruler and put a line down. Yeah, no problem. It's funny because I've done so many other crafts before I learned to sew. Like in high school and growing up, I did like a lot of scrapbooking, and as a kid, I learned like basic crochet stitches and cross stitch. Then I got really big when I had the first ever Cricut machine for scrapbooking, and then I got one of the later ones. So it's kind of neat how much you can sometimes use like the different products for different, like they have multi uses. I really miss having a Joann's to pop into real quick to get sewing supplies. I don't know about the Michael's locations near where all of you are located, but the ones here I live in New York City, so in the surrounding areas, they really don't have a large fabric section at all. Right. These are coming together quicker than I expected. And like, here's an example of, so like, I'm pretty happy. The points are lined up really well, but you can see over here that there's some overlap. So this is like I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but in person there's about 1/4 of an inch, or maybe like between 1/8 and 1/4. But I don't even bother trimming this. When I go to put this together, I'll just lay it like this and match up the side and like hide it in the seam allowance. I'm working on another quilt that I've been working on honestly for like 1.5 years now. And every single time you sew pieces together, it has you trim them down. And it takes me so long to make the blocks because of that. I think, like, I have multiple cutting mats, like a little one, but I can really see how or why quilters recommend the rotating cutting mats. Yeah, Arnetta, that's what I feel like. I feel like where the places where people say their Michaels have a lot of fabrics are the more rural or maybe suburban areas, but like outside of the cities where there's more space. Yeah. There's not a Hobby Lobby close to me. There is a couple when I drive home to visit my parents. So sometimes I'll pop in, and I feel like it's a good deal if I can catch them when they have their sales. They used to have coupons that you could use all the time, but they got rid of them. But if you can catch, they'll have like a 40% off or 50% off sale sometime. And I'll stock up on like hardware and notions and stuff like that. And Hobby Lobby, I was so bummed about this. They used to carry rose gold hardware. I love rose gold, and I do have some in my own shop in like the 1 inch. But I used to love being able to get what I needed there in a pinch. But they don't carry it anymore, or at least the one that I stop in at. I have not seen rose gold in probably like at least a year. Wawak I've been trying to order from them. They've been really great and have pretty affordable pricing. Like I said, in my own shop I have 1 inch, but I use them or Mormino usually when I need smaller hardware. I love Lauren's 1.5 inch hardware. I go to her for that. Because 1 inch is my most common that I use. Even if for a lot of bags, unless it's like a really tiny wristlet, I usually use 1 inch hardware on everything. I miss Joann's for like when I'm experimenting with a new bag, or they had really good affordable ripstop that I liked using. Because I love the custom fabric and I buy it, but I don't, sometimes like on new projects, I don't want to use my most expensive stuff in case it doesn't work out. Or I love backing my quilts and blankets and stuff for my nieces with Minky. And Joanne's used to have like, I forgot what it was called, So Lush, or I don't know. It was like an extra fluffy Minky that I really like too. Oh yeah, my Handmade Space is great too. I love their bundles that they have. Sally Tomato, I've bought their patterns, but I actually haven't purchased any of their like sewing supplies. Yeah, they are located about probably maybe 2 hours, maybe a little bit less from my parents' house. I would love to go visit them one day and just like stock up. That's why I like really loved going to Lawrence for So Whatever weekend and would love to go back for a class. Because being able to just shop the Mormino warehouse was so fun. Like, I recommend going to a class just to be able to do that. Oh, I got super nervous. I thought I was one pink square short, but it was just stuck together. This one's working out great tonight because it's a lot of squares. Sometimes there's more blocks that have like half square triangles and different stuff. And the one that I'm finishing up, the Phoenix colorway, that had a bunch of, what are they called? Basically like the square that has like the 4 small triangles around it. Economy blocks, I think people call them. Yeah, they have great zipper tape. The only zipper tape I'm not a huge fan of is wall wax. I don't know if you've tried that one. It's not. It's nice. It's the teeth are fine. The pulls fit on fine, but the fabric on the side of the zipper teeth, like the tape itself, is more silky than what like I carry in my shop or a lot of the other small shops carry. And I notice that sometimes it slips easier when I am sewing it into a bag. So I just have to be more mindful of that. so much nicer just being able to just stitch all of these together. Yeah, I have just bought some of their double-sided tape in the 1 inch, or I mean at 1/8 inch, which I'm excited to try. I have not tried it yet. I also really like their interfacing, their Profuse brand. The I forgot what they call the softer one that's like an SF 101 comparable to it, and it really is. I like that a lot, and it's affordable. And I like their Profuse Stiff too. It's not as sturdy as a Decoville Light, but for more structure, it's pretty good. The only thing about that one is that you have to remember to peel this thin layer of plastic off of it, and it's kind of stinky. It releases a smell when you interface it, so I try to do it in like a ventilator, like have a window open or something. It's not awful, but it's Decoville does not make that same smell. It has to be the adhesive or something that they use. I'm gonna have a lot of points to match up on this. The other thing that's nice about Wawak too is that I think you have to spend $35, and then their shipping is only $5.95. And I say only because one, it comes really quick, but two, shipping is outrageous right now. How much it costs? Like UPS prices. In our small shop, we have seen. For this year, we've seen a large decrease in sales, but once USPS increased the rates, the amount of orders decreased even more. Like the same package that used to cost us $4 to $5 now costs us $8 to $9 to ship. Yeah, I can't wait to try it, Cynthia. I have to, because some people put double-sided tape doing all their zippers and stuff. I usually use it for zipper overlays and whatnot. I don't really use it to hold my actual zipper in place. I just kind of hope for the best. Or if I'm doing a tutorial, sometimes I'll use it just because I feel like it's a good practice and is helpful for people following the tutorial. Yeah, same thing, Cynthia. Because I'm in New York City, I want to say Wawak is upstate New York. Hey, Sean, how are you? Sean is the guy who sews. He's also an ambassador with me for Cotton Cuts. I'm trying to catch up right now on my Under the Sea. And I've laid out my flyway quilt to make sure that the instructions were good and it matches, but I have not started sewing or filming. Yeah, I've been doing okay, just really, really busy. I feel like the last few weeks have been very they've been very eventful between regular work, doing the after school hours for like mentoring, visiting family. I feel like I haven't had a lot of downtime, which is like totally all fun stuff. So definitely not complaining. I just feel like my brain has been needs a break. No, Cynthia, I don't think the shipping from Wawak has gone up. I was saying that the $5.95 is pretty affordable because shipping in general with like USPS and everything has gone up. Because I actually think Wawak used to have free shipping at $35, and now they changed it to where it's like the discounted price at that. Yeah, I know. I'll have it done before the reveal. This past weekend I was home in Connecticut, so this weekend I am here in New York, and my number one plan is to put the quilt together. So it will definitely be done before Friday. Have you finished putting yours together? So Sean is sewing up a small and I am sewing up a large. And so the designs kind of, they resemble each other a little bit, but obviously the large is bigger. So it's always really cool to see what the two quilts look like, especially in the same colorway. What's nice about this is I'm matching it up to this long piece here. So this one at least doesn't have a seam. So I'm just holding it in place. Oh, that's good. That's not too much then. I feel like I'm running out of space here to put everything. These turn into quite large blocks. But I'm so happy. When I grabbed this, I was like, oh, I have to finish this one up. I only have two to sew, or like two blocks. Completely forgetting that this one had four, so. This is also why I like lives too, because I feel like you guys help keep me on task and making sure I'm keeping up with different projects that I need to. Yeah, so on Friday, November 7th, I'll post it when it's closer in my Facebook group, and I usually post it on Instagram too. But the company is called Cotton Cuts, and they do the live through both their Facebook. I think is their Facebook page, either their Facebook page or their Facebook group. I think it's their page, and they also do the live on YouTube. So I won't be live on my channel. I'll be live on Cotton Cuts channel. They have, I think StreamYard, and they put all of us, all the different ambassadors and the quilt designer, they put all of us up and then pull us out one at a time to show our different quilts. And that is during the day. I have to double check the time because they tell us in Central Time, and I'm in Eastern Time Zone. I want to say it's 2 o'clock Eastern. I'll double check it, and I will make sure I have all the accurate information in the group, so that way if you want to watch it, you can see us. Sean and I will definitely be there, and quite a few other ambassadors. Usually there's like 8 ambassadors or so, give or take. There's more, I believe, this time for the one that I'm working on right now. And the designer of these quilts, her name is Sheila. Does it have it on here? Oh yeah, it's so faint. I don't know if you could see it, but it's Sheila Christensen. So she actually designs the puzzle mystery quilts, and she partners with Cotton Cuts in the United States, and Cotton Cuts also ships internationally. And I know she partners with another company in the UK that also has different fabric options. So it's really cool because literally people from all over the world are sewing up the same pattern at the same time. And Cotton Cuts is run, it's like a smaller family business. I mean, they have employees, but like it's still really small, and they're just so nice. They're such a good group of people. It's a lot of fun. And they have other things too than just the mystery quilts. They have like subscriptions where you can get different types of fabric each month. They did smaller mystery quilts, so like this one is a 10-month. They did some mini ones that I believe they take a month. I think that's what it is. It's called their Mystery 5.0. So it's a quicker amount of time. And they have a very active Facebook group that is fun to be a part of too. And like I am an ambassador for them, so I help promote their quilts. But I did their puzzle mystery quilts. Like I purchased them myself and was sewing them prior to me becoming an ambassador. That's actually how I became an ambassador. I was just posting content on TikTok as I was sewing them, and then they reached out to me if I wanted to be an ambassador for them. I think I've been an ambassador now 4 years, maybe 3 years. I don't know. I'd have to count. This is my 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my 6th quilt with them as an ambassador. So 3 years as an ambassador. I've never done like block of the months or anything with any other company. I've just done it with them. But I love the idea of, you know, a large group of people all sewing the same thing and having that community. It's really something to look forward to. Kind of like what Saya's doing though with her quilt block of the month. And actually what really inspired me to, when I first learned to sew, I started with bags, but Okla Roots was the one that inspired me. I started following her in, I think, early 2020 I found her, like early COVID time, when she was also doing her own quilt block party, but I didn't do that. But she does have that on her YouTube channel that you could follow, like you could still make the block party. She has that up with all the instructions and stuff. lately I've really enjoyed making quilted bags. I have some scraps from this colorway that I think I might sew together and then just like randomly quilt up and turn into a bag. Just double checking that I am pressing these the correct way. Yeah, Cynthia. So that was about the same exact time when she was starting to put them out and do it. I was just like a baby sewer, like still learning like what it even meant for seam allowance. I was so intimidated by quilting that I didn't even attempt it. Although it might be fun to go back and try now that I'm way more confident. Yay, last one. This one's so much faster. I'm so happy. Now I am really caught up. Well, until Friday when month 4 comes out. I always, like I said, look forward to Tuesday nights and chatting with everybody. Really brings a lot of joy to my week, something I look forward to. I love hearing what everybody else is working on or what's going on with them. So I appreciate everybody who has joined in and chat, or even if you're just watching and not chatting, I definitely appreciate that too, because it all helps my channel grow. So yay! So I just finished up the last one. So this is, now I have the three other blocks. Let me grab the others. Okay. Alright, so here's my bag. This was clue 2. And so, just to give you an example, so here's month 1. So when the instructions come out, it might say, like, sew month 1 to the right of month 2. And so you could see where it would match up or not match up, but so that's why what I was saying before about the directional prints, you don't really know how it's going to look. But I love them. I enjoy them so much. And then they all come in their own little bag that's labeled. So I keep them separately, so that way when month 10 comes out, they're all organized and I make sure that I am grabbing the correct blocks. Aw, thanks, Cynthia. I appreciate that. That makes me feel good. I'm always up for suggestions and stuff, so if there's anything that you guys ever want to see me work on, let me know, because I definitely can look into different things. I've just kind of been doing like whatever I need to catch up with or have going on at the moment. All right, and then I don't put this in because this is the booklet they give you, and you need it every month. And so yeah, so here's the dates. Say clue 4 is the 31st of October. Clue 5, November 28th. So this will finish up The reveal will be April 24th for this one. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to hop off for the night. Thank you for chatting and watching along, helping me get through and caught up on everything. I'll be live next week for sure on Tuesday, but if you don't catch it, I'll put the information for the reveal for the other quilt you might have seen me do on some of the lives, which is the batiks. So, you too, Arnetta. Good night and sweet dreams. Oh, I love that. I still say that to my family all the time. When we were kids, like when we would go to bed, we'd be like, what is it? See you later, alligator. Catch you a wild crocodile. Like, I don't know, a list of like 10 different things. So thanks, Arnetta. That just brought me a lot of happiness. All right. Have a good night, everyone. I'll see you next week. Bye.